Hello, beautiful souls. You're probably familiar with the seven chakras, but have you ever heard of the three cauldrons? The three cauldrons are three energy centers that were used or known in Celtic wisdom. And it's something that I think you might find useful if you work with energy. Okay, so I want to start with a disclaimer that I am not an expert on ancient Celtic wisdom or lore, but the reason I wanted to do this video is that my guidance keeps showing me these three energy centers. And I was led to discover this ancient Celtic system through just researching that. So I wanted to share with you what I found. A lot of what we know about the three cauldrons comes from a 7th century poem from Ireland. And it describes these three cauldrons or energy centers and really gives us a concept of how they were seen by the Celts. I'm sure that the whole idea must be much, much older than the 7th century. And in fact, there are ties to Ayurvedic wisdom. So it's thought that the two systems very likely have a common ancestor. But to introduce it very simply, the idea is that rather than the energetic chakras that most of us are familiar with, it looks at the body in terms of having three major energy centers, and these correspond to the three cavities of the body, right? The head, the thorax, and the abdomen, right? So it's basically head, heart, and gut. And so these three energy centers are very poetically described as three cauldrons. Okay, so the lowest one is called the Cauldron of Warming, or sometimes the Cauldron of Incubation. And that is located in the abdominal area, right? And it corresponds to like the instinct or the vital energy that kind of sustains us. And it's said to be upright in almost every person when they're born, right? So it's just like the vital forces that keep us in survival, right? And then the second one, the one that corresponds to the heart center, is called the Cauldron of Action, right? And it corresponds to the emotional body and to the passions and that which spurs us into action, right? And the Celts were very, very emotional, so that emotional center was extremely important. And he said that, and it's all related to one's gifts as a poet, right? So in some people that really maybe don't have much poetic gifts, it might be all the way upside down. When a person is born, and most people, it's going to be sideways when you're born, and then it gets tipped up. So when the cauldron is tipped up, it means it's able to hold, right? It's full, or it's vitalized, it's energized, right? And so this cauldron of action gets tipped through the emotions, right? Through emotional experience, joys and sorrows. And then he also distinguishes that there are human joys and divine joys. So, but all that experience, that emotional experience and moving through the emotional experiences is what will tip that cauldron upright, right? So that you have a fulfilled heart center. And then the upper cauldron, the one that corresponds to the head, is called the Cauldron of Wisdom. And this one in everyone, it comes in upside down when we're born. So it's like we are empty of wisdom when we're born, and we have to earn that wisdom, right, through study or through perhaps divine intervention or prayer, right? So that is basically the three cauldrons, also known as the Three Cauldrons of Poesy. And I would love to hear your thoughts on this. Now, I don't personally use these in the same way that the Celts did. In fact, I'm being shown a whole model of understanding of the world and human evolution that this ties into, although I'm being shown to use it in a little different way. But I'm really curious. I would love to hear, have you ever heard of the three cauldrons? Do you use them in your spiritual work? And if so, I would love to hear how you use these concepts and any experiences that you've had in using the three cauldrons. So I'd love to see your comments below. Remember, anytime you comment, it could help somebody else break through some kind of block that they may be experiencing. And if you have enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe for more videos like this, and remember, you were born to be free.